Are you ready? Are you ready? Let's get ready to suck it! Woo! The champ is Heenan!
Buckle up. It's time for a drive-by.
And that's the bottom line, because Stone Cold said so.
Dear Fall Nation, say hello to the bald guy, and welcome to episode 24 of Drive-By with Shooter. This week, it was announced on Monday via WWE.com and WWE's Twitter account that an old WCW event was being revived, or at least the name was being used for a special. I'm using special in quotations right now. But what this means, WWE announced that Starrcade is returning. And I have a lot of things to go in about this. I'm going to try to keep it as brief and to the point as I can. But there's just some things that have to be mentioned when it comes to this. Now, Starrcade was basically the equivalent of WCW's WrestleMania. Okay, so it was a big event for that organization. So right off the bat, it was odd. You see how this is going, but it's on a Saturday, and it's the Saturday following Thanksgiving, and it's in North Carolina where Starrcade originated. And I kind of got excited when I heard this, and then, it gets kicked around, like, obviously, as we all would hope, that this is a network special, and I still haven't got complete clarification on that, guys. I don't know for sure. I've heard that it is a network special. I heard that it's not going to be a network special. When it comes to that line of thinking, there is no reason for this not to be a network special other than cost. I know there's obviously fees to broadcast through their network, whatever, but if this is not a network special, then I don't understand the point of doing it, other than something we'll bring up later. But to me, this has to be a network special, or it's an all for naught. Like, this is what the network should be used for. When they did the Japan show, Beast in the East, they called it, when they had Brock over there. I think that was when Finn Balor won the title off of Kevin Owens too. It was a super show. It was a super show, but it was technically a house show. But they gussied it up a little bit and presented it on the network. I'm hoping that's what they do with this. I would expect a little more gussy, a little bit bigger even on the presentation. It doesn't have to be over the top. At least Raw equivalent, or close to Raw equivalent, something. I'd be okay with that. But it has to be on a network. If it's not on a network, then I have a problem with this. But we'll just get to that in a little bit. So basically, I found it funny because literally this past weekend, it was kind of teased, and WWE was putting out there, like, if WWE were to bring back old classic WCW pay-per-view names or pay-per-view ideas, what would fans want to see? What would you want to see? What pay-per-view would be, your choice to revive? And the fans went absolutely crazy for this. So happy, like, oh, please do it. Please bring back, a WCW pay-per-view, bring back Halloween Havoc, bring back Fall Brawl. Everyone's just tossing, yes, bring this back, that back, whatever. Some of their favorite nostalgic WCW themed pay-per-views, and people were on board. And it's funny how much it changes when they actually do it and they announce, yeah, we are, and it's going to be Starrcade. And about 70% of the people that were stoked they might bring back a WCW pay-per-view were immediately pissed off that it was Starrcade that they brought back. Now, I don't know. Like I said, I was always big on WWE, grew up on WWE, WWF, branched out, loved ECW, almost to the equivalent of WWF at the time, but it was such a different thing. It didn't really fit in that category for me. So to me, it was kind of separate. It's kind of like NXT. NXT is WWE, but it's such a different product and has such a different feel and presentation to it that I don't even necessarily include them in the same boat, other than production value is still high. The entrances, the music on the entrances is still high and equivalent. So even though they're the same, I can separate them. That's how I felt about WWF, WWE, and ECW back in the day. But WCW to me was kind of like how I look at TNA today, or back when they were, I don't even know what they're called now. It's a whole different show. But TNA is like WWE light. They're trying to be what WWE is, and they already exist. And I kind of felt like that with WCW. And I know that's going to piss some people off, but that's just how I felt. I didn't think that it was the quality of WWF, and I didn't think that the stars were the quality of WWF, and I didn't think the product itself, really, more than anything, was the quality of, 80s, 90s WWF. Now, so I guess I can see, I watched it, like I said, NWO was the best thing they ever did, and that sucked me in for sure. Not a question. But I guess if you're a WCW loyalist and that's what you grew up on, I can see why you have a problem with this, especially considering it was the WrestleMania of WCW. But at the same time, I kind of look at it as you're still pulling from that history. Starrcade will always exist in the WCW realm under the WWE umbrella because they now own it. So, if they never brought it back, it exists as it was. If they bring it back now, it's now WWE's thing. So, whatever they make it is up to them. They bought it, they own it, they have that right. And you can be pissed, you can be mad, you can be butthurt. But the thing is, do you want it? If you're okay with it being forgotten and just living on the network as WCW's WrestleMania, then I guess I see why you're mad. But if you want it to maybe become something, because I don't know where this is going, but if it could maybe become something, it doesn't have a chance to become anything if it's just sitting on the network and the last Starrcade to ever air was in the year 2000. But now it has a chance. If this isn't a network special, I don't get it. It's a waste. It's a waste of a good idea, and it's a ticket grab. That's my opinion, because it's a holiday weekend, and we're going to get into that. But if it's not on a network, it doesn't make sense. But let's say it's not on a network this year, and then they do it again next year. It's successful when they do put it on a network. And then it builds into something. And then maybe they spur off and they start doing Saturday network specials out of these house shows. And maybe they call one Halloween Havoc. And maybe they even bring back a WWE name that they haven't done in a while. Maybe they do it In Your House or something like that, or something. Can't think of loved WWE pay-per-view names that aren't being used right now, but you get what I'm trying to say here. This could be something that is neat and unique and could be used to benefit the network. They did a UK tournament over a weekend live, and I thought that was awesome. I would love to see some live specials. Not all the time, because we're oversaturated. But when we get kind of bombarded with Sunday pay-per-views, one after another. And then sometimes we have these, what feels like a really long break in lull, which I think is good. But if you can throw something like this at us every now and then, just a brand exclusive, here's Starrcade, brand exclusive, here's Halloween Havoc, or whatever they decide to go with, I'm all for it. I think it would be good. I think it would be something refreshing, and then maybe be something that, is going to attract people to the network. And it's also going to attract people to their shows because now it's more special because it is a network presentation. And I guess ticket sales are a bottom line because that's not going too well either right now. From some of the crowd pictures that we've seen, I disputed a little bit of that before, but I'm starting to think it really is becoming a problem. I don't like to go off of pictures because pictures don't always tell the whole story. But the picture from this past Tuesday SmackDown was a story. And combined with some of the numbers I've researched and heard from, I don't know what's going on, but something needs to change. But I'm not done with the Starrcade thing because there was an interesting Twitter exchange about Starrcade and what it means to a certain family in the wrestling business. And I want to talk about the implications and the possible awesomeness that could come with that. Don't go away. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Continuing the Starrcade talk, I want to go into a little Twitter exchange that happened between a former WWE superstar and a current WWE agent. But then that superstar's brother. You might already know what I'm talking about, but Cody Rhodes tweeted out literally a couple hours after WWE announced the return of Starrcade. And basically, he said that if you're going to use Starrcade, a creation that my father came up with, at least put Goldust on the card. Now, I've heard Cody in many interviews since he's left WWE, especially recently. I just heard him on Jericho's podcast. And of course, that was recorded before the whole Starrcade thing. But basically, I've even screenshotted a recent tweet where a fan asked him, "Do you think WWE underutilized you?" And he said, "No, I underutilized me." To me, I get the idea that Cody left because, he felt like, hey, I was here since I was 19. I've never been anywhere else. And I'm never going to get any bigger than what they've let me get unless I go prove that I can somewhere else, because he kind of had that ceiling pushed down on him. I mean, and I agree with that. He did. And we've seen that happen before. Drew McIntyre is a good example of that. He left and made a name for himself, showing that he can do more than what they even thought. And look at him now, NXT champion. So I don't feel that Cody has any anger or resentment with WWE as a whole. So I don't want to say that comes off as sour grapes, and especially because, it does involve something his dad created, but I do think it was kind of a knee-jerk reaction and a quick reaction to something that was literally announced, hours before he sent this response out. But building off of that response, who he actually tweeted this to was to Michael Hayes. And just to give you a little background, Michael Hayes is a member of the Fabulous Freebirds, went as Doc Hendricks after his in-ring career ended as a correspondent, and then quickly, it didn't really last long, moved to the back, and he does agent work and booking and I think some creative and stuff like that. So he's kind of a big part of the backstage behind the curtain stuff that goes on in WWE. Well, Cody tweeted this to Michael Hayes, basically saying, if you're going to do this, at least put Goldust on the card. Michael Hayes responded and said, "That's a great idea. Do you happen to be free that night?" And that might not be the exact words. It's basically what he said. He's basically inviting Cody to come be a part of Starrcade. Then Goldust gets a photo. I don't know if someone made it and sent it to him or what, but it was like a match card screen, a match display screen like you see coming up on Monday Night Raw, this match or whatever. It had the Starrcade logo, and it had the Hardy Boys and Goldust and Cody, and it said the Hardy Boys versus the Rhodes family. Dude, guys, girls, friends, fans, marks, because I would mark out like no other. Could you even imagine the Ring of Honor World Champion Cody, the American Nightmare, walking down as Ring of Honor Champion to tag with his brother, be it Goldust or Dustin, however they wanted to approach this, for a one-time, one-night special Starrcade? Holy, pardon my language, holy shit. That would be a holy shit moment. That would, listen, you could print money on that. I don't even care, because the hardcore wrestling fans would eat that up. Hardcore WWE fans would be excited and intrigued to see the fact that Cody came back even for one night. There's so much potential in this. And then, we can expand on that. And this could be a complete, and probably is a complete pipe dream that wouldn't happen. But why not use, Starrcade has a special meaning because, as I said, it is WCW's equivalent to WWE's WrestleMania. And you're not going to make it that big because it's not Vince's creation. And I get that, but let's make it special. So if we do this as a special house show and we do it as a network special event, let's make it a special event. And if that means bringing in outside guys, they do it with these tournaments. I don't see why there isn't any reason, as long as the opposing company is good with it, bring in a Cody Rhodes. Let him come in and wrestle. Bring me. Hell, see, you run the risk of showing people that are in other organizations to your guys, but Cody's not a risk because he's been in the organization. Maybe there are guys in outside organizations that used to work for WWE that you're willing to bring in. Or maybe there's guys that are still in an outside organization that are willing to sign with the WWE, or you're looking at anyway. Bring them in. Do, big names. This would have to be big names. You're not going to bring undiscovereds like they do. And I'm not insulting anyone by saying undiscovereds, but you're not going to bring in the guys that you brought in for the Cruiserweight Classic or the UK tournament, or the girls from the Maya Classic that are true, some of them true independent wrestlers that have never had a major contract in a major company. But bring in guys that are sort of under the radar but have a name, or have been with the company but are no longer with the company but still have a drawing power. A la, it'll never happen, a CM Punk. But you kind of see where I'm going with this. This is the idea. You could really bring attention to the company. And in all reality, both companies, both organizations that would have a part of this, they win. Could you imagine if Cody came down? Could you imagine if, I know it's a pipe dream, but the Young Bucks got involved, or someone from the Bullet Club got involved, or maybe Gallows and Anderson would get involved, or there's so many combinations just by bringing Cody into the equation, who, like I said, is a safe bet because he's a former WWE guy anyway. You're not showing a lot of these people something they haven't seen. Amazing stuff that could be done with this. Starrcade could be a showcase like no other that really can't be done in WrestleMania. WrestleMania, even your other big three, Royal Rumble, Survivor Series, they do that kind of with Royal Rumble. They get mystery guys to come in, pop in. Maybe they do a one-off. Maybe it's a big return, things like that. And that makes it special. This could be something along those lines, but in a different outlet, a different way of looking at it. Bring guys that aren't WWE guys at all, or maybe will be down the road, and give them a look and give them a spotlight. But like I said, it's got to be a draw. Like, it's Starrcade. Bring stars out and make this a star-worthy show. I think it's a phenomenal idea, and I have my fingers crossed. Maybe something could be worked out. I don't know. I don't know. Like, my heart says there's no way, because Vince is not going to promote someone who's not one of his guys. But as I've said, with the things that have been going on with the tournaments, with the UK tournament, the Mae Young, the Cruiserweight, they're giving guys a look. They're giving guys and girls that aren't even signed to contracts, hey, we'll do this little thing, let you do your stuff, or they're exposing you to the world. So good or bad, it's up to the wrestler, it's up to the superstar to make, their case for, hey, I should be here, or I don't belong here. And, they make a strong case they should be here and they don't go there. People could follow them. And that's a risk WWE takes, but they have been taking it. So I don't think it's completely out of the question. I don't think that it's something that couldn't happen. And I am super excited about the potential that is there. Hang tight, guys. I got a few more things to go over before we finish this drive-by. We'll be right back. Okay, guys and girls, I want to touch on a few more things before I wrap the show up. The first thing being No Mercy this weekend. I don't want to go too in-depth because if you are familiar with our page, you know that on Sunday you will be greeted by none other than Nearfall Network's very own High Five and MFer over on our Facebook page. That is facebook.com/Nearfall Network. If you're new to the page, you might not know that, but you should know now. So make sure you check it out. I don't know exactly what time he will be posting the show. He usually will post up a card or a photo to let you know, hey, it's coming around this time, T-minus 10 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever time he has to do it. But it will be sometime Sunday afternoon. Now, I'm excited for No Mercy. They have built this pay-per-view that is a single brand pay-per-view. I don't like to call pay-per-views throwaways, but you know, the big fours are where the major storylines either wrap up or begin, depending on how you look at it. Usually they're wrap up, they build, and it's WrestleMania. Build, it's SummerSlam. Build, it's Survivor Series. So, you know, our little ones like No Mercy, Battleground, things like that, they aren't necessarily set up the same way. They don't always have the same kind of fever behind them, but No Mercy this year has amazing quality matches on the card. At least two of them that could be WrestleMania matches, and the whole card top to bottom is solid and should be very, very entertaining, if nothing else. Now, I see people complaining, like, why are we doing this already? You know, Braun and Brock and Cena and Reigns, and these are WrestleMania quality matches or SummerSlam quality matches. Listen, that's all well and good, but if they had shitty matches on there, you complain that they were having shitty matches and you wouldn't want to watch it because there's no reason to watch No Mercy because the card isn't good. So you can't have it both ways. You know this. You know that I'm going to bring this up. So just enjoy the fact that you're getting these insanely good matches. And another thing we need to kind of keep in mind is this roster is so deep in 2017. We don't have to worry about the fact that we are already getting a Roman Reigns John Cena match because there's so many more people these guys can work for and work towards, and then they can come back. I don't think this is going to be a one and done, guys. I don't. I'm not giving predictions on this show, but I'm just saying I don't think this is the one and only Reigns versus Cena match that we're going to get in the next year or two. I just don't. I think, you know, I say, it's stated at the beginning of the show, buckle up, guys. This is going to be a cool ride that we're going on with these two guys. And I don't think it ends at No Mercy. I just don't. And then you have, you know, the other WrestleMania quality, WrestleMania level match in Universal Championship title match with the champ Brock Lesnar versus Braun Strowman. Braun Strowman has come, I can't say he's come out of nowhere because it's just funny the change, because when it was Braun Strowman versus Undertaker talk, everyone, including myself, was like, no way, that's a horrible idea. And my whole argument was, Taker's not the guy he used to be. Taker needs someone that can go to help him look better. Taker was always the kind of guy that could make somebody else look better, but he's kind of past that point in his career. No offense to the Undertaker, but he's older. And I was worried because Braun, you know, little green when this was being tossed around, just to be fair. If they tossed that idea around now, I'd be all for it. And I am totally all for a Braun versus Brock match, and I cannot wait to see these two monster behemoths just beat the ever-living daylights out of each other for 10, 15, maybe 20. Could we get a 20-minute Brock Lesnar match? That would be fantastic. All I know is No Mercy has been shaped and built and stacked so well that no matter the outcome of any of the matches on the card, I have a feeling this is going to be a very, very entertaining and solid pay-per-view. We might not get the outcomes that we hope for with who wins and who loses and how the storylines progress, but the matches and the setups themselves will be worth tuning in on Sunday night. And I don't see with this card of superstars and the way the matches are stacked, and like I said, just the progression they've done with the storytelling, I don't see how this could be a bad pay-per-view. So check out Nearfall Network, like I said, on Sunday for your pre-show, for your No Mercy pre-show with the High Five and MFer. Check it out. I, myself, Shooter, will be doing a post-show, and more like a review. It will not be live. I'm just going to let you know, I did SummerSlam live. My work doesn't really cater for me to do that all the time, so it's only every once in a while when I just happen to be off on a Monday, and that rarely happens. So I will record more than likely a post show on Monday and try to post it up on Monday. I don't know if it'll be audio or video, but it will be on the Facebook page. That's where I think we're gonna keep these reviews pre and post probably living on a Facebook page. I may eventually move them to the YouTube page, but once they happen, then I don't know if there's really a point to it. If you guys want them on a YouTube page, let me know. But you gotta go subscribe to our YouTube page that I'm speaking on right now. Let me know if you want it over here. If you're here listening, then, hit us up on a Facebook page. Hit me in a comment here, because nobody comments on these videos, these audio podcast videos. Comment. Let me know what you like, what you don't like, what I need to change, what you want me to keep the same. Now, before I go, No Mercy is exciting. The idea of Starrcade is exciting. I don't want to bring it down, so I'm going to try to keep it up and keep it happy and keep it positive. But all of us that grew up loving wrestling and still love wrestling today took a big loss this past Sunday. Bobby the Brain Heenan passed away. I don't want to say that it's not shocking, because no one was ready for him to go, but the poor man's been battling health issues for years now and didn't even resemble the same person physically. But everybody says mentally, everyone that I've heard that have spoke of encounters with him post, his horrible surgery that changed his appearance with his, I think he had throat cancer, said that he was still an upbeat, good, fun person to be around, to meet. He loved wrestling and he loved being a part of that community. And that just really sums up Bobby the Brain Heenan. See, I'm in this weird period where I grew up and I was a little too young watching him and hearing him to appreciate what I was getting. But I'm also at that age where, as I started to get older and he was over on the WCW side and I could really appreciate it, I really wasn't into WCW that much, as I stated earlier, but I got what he was going for. And when you look back on stuff and you hear some of the things he has said, the way he phrased things, what a freaking genius. The best color commentator wrestling's ever had. The best manager wrestling's ever had. I don't even think you can argue that. I mean, I would shut any argument down that said somebody was better at either one of those things than Bobby the Brain Heenan. And he paved the way for so many guys. And it's just, we're in a great time where you can go on a network and look this stuff up. And though I might not be able to fondly remember one-liners from my childhood because I was, 6, 7, 8, when, Heenan was really hitting his stride in the WWE, I remember bits and pieces, but one thing that sticks in my mind is growing up and watching Superstars and Wrestling Challenge. Bobby the Brain Heenan and Gorilla Monsoon were the voice of my childhood. Just like Jim Ross and Jerry the King Lawler were the voices of my, teenage years, I guess is how you'd phrase that. Bobby the Brain was the voice of my childhood when it comes to professional wrestling, and I am so grateful for that, and so grateful that the network exists so that you, me, and every fan, old, young, old fan, new fan, can go and listen and learn from the master. I think Corey Graves summed it up the best with his tweet. It was simple. It simply said, without him, there is no me. And that couldn't sum up what Bobby the Brain Heenan has done for wrestling much better. Guys, thanks for listening. It's been real. It's been fun. We'll catch you next time.